Well, you know what they say. Sun's out, guns out, so let's take our top off. Not me, you degenerates. Merle. We've got our main structure locked in, so I don't really need to worry too much about its relationship to the top now, so we're going to make our lives a lot easier and get this top off. I'm sure there's a proper way to store this, but I don't know what it is, so we're just going to get it out of the way for right now. Alright, well, we're going to do the 10-cent tour now that we're topless and get into making all our filling in and tie-in bars and all that stuff and start making this thing look like a big boy jungle gym. So we got A pillars, main hoop, D pillars, we're vertical all the way through. We've got our top center support bar. So I think what we're gonna do first today is make our dash bar. Then we're gonna remake this so that it curves and matches the windshield. Whew, you know what can wait is that sun, goodness. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is correct this. To get all these right, this bar ended up being like a 1/4 inch low. So I'm gonna cut tacks on the bottom. We're going to get this to where it lines up perfectly with here. Like I was saying, we're going to cut these 2 tacks, get this bar shifted over exactly where it needs to be, because when I did this front half, I guess I was just a touch low on this side. So that's why you tack things together and you don't just start welding right away. Get a little hammer, knock it loose, and then we'll ratchet strap it together, pull that over where it needs to be, tack her back in, and then get jamming on this front. Got a little torchy torch, got the hoodie hood. I sound really dummy dumb. Trying to be better about wearing gloves and stuff. I guess it's kind of pointless with a short sleeve shirt, but I'm trying. I ain't perfect, but I'm trying. Oh man, the sun is killing me. Alright, so dash bar, we're going to get that locked in. I'm going to put it as low as I can and still be able to take the dash pad in and out. So hopefully we can suck it down pretty low. We'll find out. And then we're going to unveil a new tool that some of you might not have ever seen before. Sailor, what shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Avast, mateys! Merle be to the starboard bow! So this is a tubing roller. It doesn't bend tubes like a tube bender does, it arcs them. So I've got an add-on on mine from Swag Off Road, so I can move the outside rollers out to a couple more locations to give it more leverage. So we load this thing up. Bring this down till it touches. All you do is roll this thing through. You want to watch it and make sure that it doesn't bend. So we're right about the edge. I'm going to crank this guy. We'll do maybe a 1/4 turn. I feel like if I go too much at once, it won't want to roll it, it'll just slip. And so we're just going to creep up on this and keep checking it on the windshield until we get it just right. I can see why the expensive ones of these have like a crank handle. This pirate steering wheel sucks. Like, it is fine with all the aluminum and stuff, but for 120 wall, not gonna lie, it kind of blows. Sure, it doesn't help that this table wasn't really made for these kind of loads. I hope it doesn't break while I'm in the middle of doing this. Alright, well, I ended up switching the rollers to the furthermost out position. If you're going to do roll cage tubing like this, it's like 120 wall. Either get the heavy duty one of these that like Swag makes, or at least get these little weld on wings to move these out. Because even with those out there, rolling this is a workout, man. I think this will actually work. Back to singing she shanties. Problem is, I only know the one that I remember from like 3rd grade or whatever when we took our trip, like the overnight trip on the boat. And everyone had their little positions on the sailboat, which was pretty cool. It was like a big boat, like an old merchant ship, but we all pretended it was a pirate ship. And I was the head of like the cooking area, and I made the frickin' bombest coffee cake anyone's ever had in their life, or at least that's how 3rd grade year old me remembers it, is that it was amazing. Oh, bow my billy boys blow. Ha! I have no idea if that's how it goes. We'll just skip this part. I made a fool of myself enough for now. We are pretty close to the curve of the windshield here. And with the way the cage is, it'll set back. And I don't want it to be right up against the windshield because we drive in the snow. So I want my defrosters to work. So I don't want to block them with my cage. So let's get our measurements. And then it'll have like 5 degrees out and rotated wise like 53 degrees forward to get those in the right plane. So that'll be fun math. But we'll do it. We're going to knock it out on the first try. I got a good feeling about today. So now I got a nice little cross. So normally this type of tube bender or this type of tube notcher, you can't bend or you can't notch on a bend. This is like the basic of the basic tube notchers. I really do want to get a better one, but for now this will work. I think next time I do a cage or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and invest in a better tube notcher that's more versatile. But this will work for now. So we're going, this is just like a slight arc to it, so it'll still grab it and notch it close enough that I can fine tune it with a grinder. Alright, so this bar is kind of blocking me. I'm going to just go ahead and cut it out now because we're locked in down here, we're locked in up there, so I think we'll be good. Oh, get in here, hose. All right. All right. Well, semi-permanent now. Let's look at it one last time. Make sure we're pleased. So now I need to rig up some sort of angle degree thing here. I have to grab it in the middle because the problem is if I do it at the end, this is all on an arc and it'll swing like all crazy and I won't get an accurate number at all. Split the difference with 54 and a half. Here we go. We're still on our line. Say as far as I can finger, that's gonna do her. So only one way to find out, right? All right. That's straight. This one looks straight, so at least it's consistent. So if it's wrong, at least we're consistently wrong, right? But it's not going to be right. This is going to be perfect. Let's see what she do. I like that. It's not right up on my windshield, which is fine. And it gives room for my defrosters to defrost, which is slightly important. Just a little bit. Where can I get that clip up? Yeah. I'd be able to get it in there. Alright, so we are making a secret mouse tool for later. If you figure out what I'm making, drop it in the comments and put the little timestamp of when you figured it out. Let's see who gets this first. I'll give you a hint though. This is a quick connect. So something comes apart and goes together. And it's really cool. Alright, well, we're never going to know unless we try. So, it's about as good as I can eyeball it. I think it'll fit. So we're just going to do one tack and one tack to hold it in place so I can pull these. And then we're going to test fit the dash under there and hopefully it all looks level with the dash pad and all that good stuff. Otherwise, I just got to cut a couple tacks and we'll reconfigure it. Alright guys, moment of truth. Please fit. Alright, this clip, I'm gonna hook that over. Hooking on there. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, buddy. And We got a nice gap here for my defrosters to defrost. Heck yeah, dude. That's killer. Back up, take a better look-see. You figured out what this is for yet? Let me know. There we go. Not going to weld this one quite yet. We're going to think on it. That way, you know, I figure my head will be about here. I got some space in between it, and then I can tie this over into these corners where it's going to be clear of my noggin so I don't bust myself up. Shawing. All right, let me show you what I got rigged up here. So this is for the main hoop on that side, D-pillar down leg on this side. So the distance to where it's going to go from the main hoop and the pillar is right here. So this edge needs to be the inside edge of my notch so that it can click onto that pillar, then we can rotate it down and then notch the main hoop side to do it. So I've just got some angle iron measured and clamped to my little portable welding table, and then just eyeballing this to be where the peak of it is at the edge of the gold, not the little lip edge here. I measured to the edge of the gold. So we're just lining that up visually, and we're gonna have to notch this one by hand because it's on a bend. Well, moment of truth, we're going to put the tailgate on and see if our reveal is even. Get in the hole. Oh, crap. What's going on here? My tailgate's never not closed. Oh. Durr. Guess you actually do have to have the little arms hooked up. I know my tailgate ain't perfect, but I think that's close enough. What do you guys think? All right, so we're gonna check our relative straightness. Like I said, my truck's not perfectly level how it sits. How much would it suck if I got this thing where it's like sitting all level in my cage that I've tried to level to the truck because it's just slightly out, all of a sudden looks crooked? That would blow, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, we're gonna go. Hello, God. We're gonna go real fancy here. Left foot pedal, left hand, torque. I like it. What do you guys think? think we're coming along pretty good here. So the tape is where I know I want to put some more bars. Like we got the tape up here. I threw the seats back in it so that we can kind of get an idea of headspace clearance and all that, but I think it's just coming along pretty good if you don't say so myself. Not gonna lie, this thing's starting to feel pretty freaking cool. I got good headroom around. Got plenty behind me. Got the dash bar sucked down on the dash so I can still barely slide this dash out. So when I want to replace it with a black one, I'll be able to change it. I don't have it so tight on here that it's locked in. We got this guy rounded to match the front. We got all that tube work in the back to tie all that together. We just got some more crossbars to do, and then I'm going to throw the back seat in it. See if I can't get a little triangulation in on the roof there too, while still preserving my daughter's headroom, or if we have two other passengers back there. I want them to be able to sit and not have to worry about bashing their heads on a bar. So I'll get that seat in there next time. We'll start checking that one, make these last couple tubes, and then it's welding time. But next weekend, we're going to switch gears for a minute because I need to get more tube and fix some stuff on my other truck and whatnot. So next weekend, we're going to start on the exhaust because whatever gets done first doesn't really change Merle being able to wheel. So we're going to switch gears next weekend, see if we can't knock that full exhaust out, and plugging right along, guys. So remember, if you don't get started, you never get finished. Dude, this thing is so cool. Oh, I love it. I can see. Let's close the door. Oh. Oh, this is so cool.